Good morning. My name is Karan Champaneri. I'm from Varal Consultancy DMCC. I'm going to talk about our company's profile, what we do, what are the sectors we work on, and what is our company's profile. Plus, I will also give you detailed information about all the services what we provide to our clients. And yes, as we go by the slides, you will understand it better on what we exactly do. So basically, let's talk about Varal Consultancy first. What is Varal? Varal began its operation in UAE in 1998 as a trading and investment company. It started Varal LLC in 1998, and from 2004 till present, the entity is called Varal Consultancy DMCC, which is based in Dubai, and it's registered company in a free zone, Dubai Multi-Commodity Center, which is also called DMCC. Now we are the registered agents for offshore company registrations and to form any kind of companies in Dubai. Now the company has all around experience of more than 7 years, and we have more than 500 companies in various sectors like free zone, local, offshore, and our clients are all from all over the world. And Varal has provided services related to business setup too. Now we've been successfully marketing offshore business setup services through various marketing tools like direct communication, networking, and with our own 2 successful websites. Now who we are? Now the owner of the company is Mr. Ramapati Singhania. He is a managing director of Varal Consultancy, followed by the director of the company, Mr. Ravindra Deshpande. Now I am Karan Champaneri. I am from the sales team. Okay, I manage sales for this company. Now we are a very small family. We are like 11 people working in this company. So yeah, this is how it goes. So we are specialists in forming companies in Dubai free zones, local, Mulkwain, Sharjah, Ajman, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, Rak, Ajman, Jafza offshore. We'll talk about this on the future slides. What is it all about? So yeah, let's go. So what is the purpose of being a statement for Varal? Now we use technological solutions to help entrepreneurs with the UAE company registrations and allied services. They only pay us because they think our values and our attitude and our hard work is up to the mark, because we never give up. Now what are our objectives? Now the objectives is to provide solutions to overseas and local clients for entering Middle East markets. So anybody who wants to enter Dubai market, okay, and if they want to open a company, incorporate a company in Dubai, we are the ones who help them set up a new company. We also give them the right advice on the investment, on the wealth, plus incorporating international business corporations in the UAE through various channels and various platforms. Now we provide a whole range of corporate services to our clients. Like there are various services like accounting, bookkeeping, VAT services, translation, legal services. We do facilitate them, and we give consultancy services to each and every clients. So our main goal is to manage all the legal requirements, all the client requirements, and make sure that we adhere all the compliance, and we give them the right options, the correct options with the right advice, what they are looking out for. Now we are the registered agent. Anybody who wants to set up a company in Dubai, okay, they can do it themselves, okay, but then there are lots of paperwork involved, plus you need to be a registered agent for the platforms, for the jurisdictions. So we are the registered agents for Ras Al Khaimah, Ajman, Sharjah Airport International Free Zone, Sharjah Media City Free Zone. Okay, we are also been offered partner agreement by Hamria and DMCC. Now we are the also authorized agent for offshore companies like Iraq ICC, Ajman Offshore, Jebel Ali Offshore, and other jurisdictions like Seychelles. Apart from Dubai, uh, it's Seychelles, British Virgin Islands, Mauritius, and we also are tied up with them through local agents. Now, what exactly does Varal do? Now, any individual from around the world who wants to give their presence in Dubai, or who wants to work in Dubai, live in Dubai, who is looking for a visa in Dubai, uh, or if they are looking to set up their company in Dubai, there are various aspects which we need to understand. Now we understand their needs and recommend the suitable solutions for them. We also inform them about how long this process will take, what will be the cost required to set up to take up any of these services. Now we are not only expertise and experienced, but also we do their jobs for them. So instead of the client coming here and doing all the paperwork, we'll do it on their behalf. Once the client says yes, I would like to go ahead, we collect the payment from there. We prepare the documents, we start the registration process, we also help them get a bank account. So even the bank account opening process is something which we do for them. Now we also recommend them various other places, apart from Dubai, we recommend Seychelles, British Virgin Islands, Mauritius to our clients. Now list of services what we provide to our clients. Now we offer them offshore company registration, UAE free zone local company registration, allied services, anxiety free to entrepreneurs around the world. Now list of services which are offered by Varal are company registration, visa services, bank account, renewal of the company, nominee services, accounting and auditing services, license amendment, company closing, translation and attestation services. Now we will talk about this in our future slides, and I'll describe you what exactly each and every services are all about. Now let me start with introduction to UAE, United Arab Emirates. What is UAE? Why does a client wants to come to Dubai? So let's talk about UAE. Now UAE is a country which has got 7 emirates. Just like any states in the country, it's ruled by different rulers. Like different state has got a different government bodies. The same way, these 7 emirates have been ruled by different rulers. Now, out of the 7 emirates, Dubai is the most popular emirates around the entire UAE. You must have heard that we have Burj Khalifa in Dubai, we have Burj Al Arab in Dubai, we have the best beach in Dubai, we have the best infrastructure in Dubai. So let me tell you about the 7 emirates. The number 1 is Dubai. Then we have Abu Dhabi, which is 70 minutes from Dubai airport. Then we have Sharjah, which is 30 minutes. We have Al Quwain, which is 40 minutes. Ajman, which is again 30 minutes. Ras Al Khaimah, which is 75 minutes from Dubai airport, and the farthest is Fujairah, which is 90 minutes drive from Dubai airport. So see, UAE is one of the most fastest growing tourist destination. It has all the right ingredients for an unforgettable holiday: sun, sand, sea, sports, unbeatable shopping, top class hotels, restaurants, infrastructure with traditional culture and safe and welcoming environment. The UAE is classified as the high income developing economy by the IMF. The UAE oil reserves are ranked the world's 6th largest, and the UAE possesses one of the most developed economies in West Asia. Abu Dhabi is the capital of UAE. Now UAE business are growing not just in oil sector but now in many other sectors of economy. So it is the most sought after business destination. Now why is UAE the destination of choice for all entrepreneurs? The best part is we have ready-made markets. Now you have access to establishment client pools across diverse markets, many with global reach, Multiple benefits like chance to join network like mindful individuals and get extensive support from the government and other agencies. Diverse markets, a wealth of opportunities available in Dubai, Sharjah, Maldives, Ras Al Khaimah. The most important thing is tax exemptions. UAE has been a zero tax business environment. However, we have 5% VAT and 5% custom duty, but there is no income tax, no corporate tax, no export tax, no transaction tax. Money can be moved freely from Dubai to anywhere in the world and vice versa. There is no limit of transferring money from one place to another. You also have entrepreneurial culture. More than a quarter of startups predicted to shape the fourth industrial revolutions are from UAE. We have got a strategic location. Now, if you check the border of Dubai, it is in the center of the world. It is said the most important rule of the real estate industry is location. The same holds true for any kind of a business itself. Now, UAE is strategically located between three continents: Europe, Asia, and Africa. There are 1,000 weekly flights to countries worldwide. There is easy access to GCC and the entire Middle East market. On one hand is China and India, which is a source of raw materials and significant trading opportunities, and on the other side of UAE is the European Union, which is major trade partner. Now, before we conclude, we'll do a bonus section on major UAE cities which you can eye for a business setup. The first comes is Dubai. It is the most cosmopolitan city in all of UAE. Tourists from all over the world visit Dubai for its shopping experience. Then comes Abu Dhabi, home to the richest, and it is also the most planned and organized business center in UAE. Then comes Sharjah. Sharjah Airport International Free Zone is Premier One, which attracts foreign investors. And then we have Fujairah Free Zone, which is again an upcoming and attracting shipping and transport companies from all over the world. Now, the most important question is, why open a company in UAE? So let's talk about the advantages of opening a company in UAE. UAE is currently one of the most easiest places to register a company in the world, and UAE offers other advantages, which is why the number of foreign investor opening companies here is constantly growing. Clients who wants to open a company, they have various options they can choose from. They can choose a mainland company within the emirate, or they can choose a free zone company. We have more than 25 fully operational free zones and others in development phase. One of the greatest advantages of opening a company in UAE is the fact that full foreign ownership is permitted, which means you can be the 100% owner of the company. Other also reasons which makes UAE free zone so attractive are investor can benefit from 3 years visa and can sponsor the family. So for example, whenever you open a company, Dubai will provide you with a visa. It's an option which you want to take. So with the company, you also have an option to take a visa for yourself. So if you are the owner of the company, you are eligible for a 3 years investor visa. Then on basis of your visa, you can sponsor your family, like your wife, your children. You can hire employees from any part of the world. It's simple. You can just hire anyone, and you can make them work for you. Quick and easy company incorporation procedure. Setting up a company is really easy in Dubai and the fastest. We have the excellent infrastructure for all types of business, and yes, the most important thing is zero tax. No taxes at all. Now let's talk about in detail of what are the types of company in Dubai. Now basically there are 3 types of companies. in Dubai, which you can follow. You can open a local mainland LLC company. It means that on these 7 Emirates which you have, you can open a local company. So you can have a Sharjah local company, you can have a Dubai local company, you can have an Abu Dhabi local company, you can have Fujairah local company, you can have Ras Al Khaimah local company. Then we have free zone companies. Now every Emirates, inside every Emirates has been divided into many zones, which are called free zones. Dubai has got more than 25 free zones. Okay. Similarly, or even other Emirates have got similar types of free zones. Then we have offshore companies which you can offer in any of the Emirates. And then the last option is a branch and subsidiary company. Now branch and subsidiary company is like, having your own company in for example, you have a company in London and you want to open a branch company in Dubai. You can select from any of the 3 options. Either you can have a local mainland LLC company, you can have a free zone company, or you can have an offshore company. So that is one option what you have. Now this is a flow chart of how UAE company looks like. Now UAE company, as I mentioned, has been divided into 3 parts. One is a local mainland LLC company, one is a free zone company, and one is an offshore company. Local company, as I mentioned that it's been divided into 7 Emirates. One is Dubai local company, Sharjah local company, Al Quwain, Ras Al Khaimah local company, and etc. Similarly, free zone also has been divided into many free zones. Like we have Dubai free zone, we have Sharjah free zone, we have Ajman free zone, Fujairah free zone, Al Quwain free zone, Ras Al Khaimah free zone. Now inside Dubai there are various free zones, like we have DWC free zone, DMCC free zone, Jafza, Rafza. Similarly, Sharjah has got Shams, Hamriya, Ajman has got Afza, AMC. We have Fujairah free zone, Al Quwain free zone, Ras Al Khaimah free zone, and the last option is offshore free zones. Offshore companies. So offshore companies, we have 3 offshore companies, wherein you can have an offshore company in RAK ICC, Ajman offshore, and Jebel Ali offshore. So we will talk about this in detail through our next slide. I know it is little the chart is big, but then yes, I will explain in much more easier way, so it will be very easy for you to understand. Now there are various free zones. Now DWC is called Dubai World Central, DMCC is called Dubai Multi Commodity Center, Jafza is Jebel Ali Airport Authority. So these are the full forms of all the free zones. Every free zone has got a short name. So yes, let's go ahead. Let's start with the first option which we mentioned, which is called the local mainland LLC company. Now what is a local company? Okay, so now we speak about the local mainland LLC company. We'll talk about what is a local company, what are the benefits of the local company, and what are the features of a local company. So a local company is also called a mainland or a LLC company. Local company is a company which is registered with Department of Economic Development, which is called DED, in every Emirates, which means Dubai has got its own DED, Sharjah has got its own DED, Ras Al Khaimah has got their own DED, respectively Ajman, Abu Dhabi, every Emirates has got their own DED. Okay. So it is mandatory to have a local sponsor, a UAE national, to register a local company. Okay. So let's talk about how we form. What are the advantages of a local company? The advantage of a local company is if you want to sell your products inside Dubai directly to the end customers, then you need to form a local company. Now let me give you an example of a local company. For example, I want to open a restaurant. Simple. I'm opening a restaurant in Dubai and I want to sell my food to the local clients. I have to open a local company. If I want to open a jewelry store, so to open a jewelry store, I need to open a local company. If I want to open a grocery store to sell groceries to direct clients, I need to open a local company. Now, this local mainland LLC company, okay, is allowed to have office, shops, warehouse anywhere in Dubai and can do trading anywhere inside and outside UAE also. So our clients can have office, warehouse anywhere in Dubai, but it should not be in the free zone. There is no specific minimum capital requirements, maximum of 2 and minimum of 50 shareholders. And in local company, the investor will get visas irrespective of the size. The number of employee visas depend on the office space. So if there are 40 shareholders, everyone gets a visa. But if you want to add employees are purely based on the office size. Bigger the office, more employees you get. Bigger the restaurant, more employees you get. Now, there are few things which needs to be taken care of while opening a local mainland LLC company. For example, it is mandatory to have a local UAE sponsor to register a local company. So a person from Dubai or a UAE has to be the sponsor of the company. Now the sponsor can be two. It can be an individual sponsor, a single person, or a corporate sponsor, which means a company who is owned by a local can sponsor your company. So a corporate sponsor or a local sponsor will always be 51% shareholder of the company, and our client will always be 49% shareholder of the company. Now this is a rule of Dubai or of any UAE Emirates, that there will always be 51% shareholder will be the local sponsor and 49% will be our client. Now what is the difference between a local sponsor and a corporate sponsor? Now, as I mentioned, local sponsor is one individual, one guy who sponsors your company, and a corporate sponsor is the entire company sponsoring your company. Now, what are the benefits of having a corporate sponsor? Because we only have corporate sponsor. A corporate sponsor will not take, it can be both a local sponsor or a corporate sponsor. They will not take any profits you make in your company. Even though he is 51% shareholder, he will not take any profits from your company. He will not take any losses in your company. He will not put any capital in your company. He will not take any money from your account. He will not put any money. Bank accounts will be with you. You will be having the full rights, and there will be a side agreement which will happen between you and the corporate sponsor or the local sponsor. Now you must be thinking that if they are not doing anything, then what are they getting in return? Yes, they are getting a sponsorship fee which is approximately 10 to 15,000 dirhams every year. All they are interested in only one thing, which is 10 to 15,000 dirhams a year. There will be no distribution of profits or loss with the sponsor, and clients normally prefer a corporate sponsor because of more safety. Now, for example, if there is a corporate sponsor, a company which is sponsoring your company, now there is some case which is going on with that company, with the corporate company. That case will not come on you because that is an LLC company, yours is an LLC company. Whatever happens in that company remains in that company. Whatever happens in your company, it will remain in your company. So if there is anything wrong, or you do anything wrong, or the client does anything wrong with the company, and if there is any case going on, it will remain in your company. It will not go to the sponsor. It's completely safe. So as I mentioned, there will be no minimum. As I mentioned, that minimum 2 shareholders are required. So it's understood that one will be our client and the second one is the sponsor. There cannot be a single shareholder in the company, in a local company. Now the second type of a company is a free zone company. Now we spoke about the mainland company, the Dubai LLC mainland company, wherein he can do freely business. One thing I also wanted to inform you is, in a mainland company, he can advertise his products anywhere in Dubai. He can put hoardings, he can put banners, he can do exhibitions, he can book a hotel and do exhibitions. Then he can also do various activities like group gathering or any marketing thing, or if he wants to install a kiosk at a mall, he can do that. This all is possible if he has a local mainland company. So all advertising options are open for him, wherein there will be no restrictions on that. But a mainland company is required for that, because you are doing you're promoting your products inside your country, inside the UAE and the particular emirate. Now free zone company in UAE. Now this is the second type of company, which is called a free zone company. Now what is the meaning of free zone? Free zone company refers to a free economic zone wherein designated areas in which the companies are located, these companies are taxed very lightly or not at all. Normally there is no tax in any of the free zones. In the free zone, an area in which the goods may be handled, landed, manufactured, reconfigured and re-exported without intervention of custom authorities. Now basically Dubai is divided into many free zones, right? So there are a list of free zones which we will go through, and with all these free zones, these are different areas which have been divided into multiple free zones. Now free zone companies are registered with the free zone authority. So if you want to open a free zone company in a particular free zone, you will have to register your company with that particular free zone. That particular free zone will monitor that particular company. It has a very small boundary and it has got its limits. There are many free zones. Some are specialized in activities like media, education, technology, design, etc. And it is mandatory for every company registered in free zone to have its office space or a warehouse or a manufacturing unit inside that free zone only. Free zone company can also obtain visas for the owner, director, shareholder and the employees of the company through that free zone which is registered. Now as we mentioned that in the local company he can also take a visa, in the free zone he can also take a visa. The only difference is, in a local company he can have his office anywhere in the Dubai, and in the free zone his office has to be inside that free zone. He can still go for a visa. The main attraction of setting up a company in a free zone is there is no UAE national shareholding required, which means our client will be 100% owner of the company. There will be no local sponsor required for this formation of this company. Let's talk about the benefits of a free zone company. As mentioned, 100% foreign ownership, 100% repatriation of the capitals and profits, 100% free funds, transfer of funds, 100% exemption for import and export duties. Free zone company can form quicker and even the client does not need to be inside the country to form a free zone. Many free zones gives us that benefit that the client does not need to come. Inexpensive workforce and easy recruitment procedure. So if you want to hire employees, it's very easy to hire employees in a free zone. Virtual office are provided to start small business with lower investment. Now I'll just give you a small example of types of offices we have in Dubai. Now there are 4 types of office. The first is called a flexi desk, share desk, a virtual office. Now what is flexi desk, share desk and virtual office? Every free zone will have a building wherein there will be a conference, a shared table or meeting room. So you can you can book your table for like an hour. You get 8 hours to use it in 1 week. It's a shared table. You get internet, you get Wi-Fi, you get laptop, you get a table, you get a chair, you get water, and you get coffee. So you can, if you want to speak to, you can call the clients at the shared desk, have a meeting, and then you can leave, and then someone else will use that shared desk. So it's called a share office, virtual office, or flexi desk. Now the second type of office is called a fixed office, wherein you rent your own office. It's your own private property. You can rent it, you can use it the way you want to. That's called a fixed office. The third type of office is called a warehouse, wherein if you want to store your goods inside the warehouse, you can take a warehouse. And the fourth kind of office is called a shared fixed office. Now for example, there is a building and there are multiple offices. Now you want to hire one particular office for 1 day or for 3 hours or for 2 hours. You just need to call the free zone, tell them that I need the office for 3 hours. So the entire office will be yours. That's called the premium shared desk. And yes, some warehouse also has office inside. The clients can choose if they want a warehouse with the office inside or they just want a warehouse. The prices will change. It is subject to availability. So in a free zone, virtual office are comparatively very cheaper to start a business with lower investment, and 25 years lease options, warehouse facilities available for the areas of production and assembling, etc. So now what are the limitations? What you cannot do in a free zone but you can do in a local company? What you cannot do in a free zone is, free zone company is not allowed to trade directly in the UAE market. You cannot sell your products inside the free zone. Inside the local market. The free zone company can undertake the local business only through a locally appointed distributors. Now let's say example, you are doing trading of garments, clothes, garments trading. Now your garments are coming to Dubai, you store it in your warehouse and now you decide to sell it in Dubai. But you do not have a local company, so how do you sell? What you need to do is, you need to appoint a local distributor, sell your products to the local distributor, and then the local distributor will sell it in the local market directly. Whenever your goods are going outside the free zone, you have to pay 5% gate fees. Now it can be a mutual agreement on who will pay the gate fees, whether you will pay the gate fees or the local distributor will pay the gate fees. That's a mutual agreement. You cannot advertise your products inside the free zone. You cannot advertise your product in the local market. You cannot promote your product. You cannot have exhibitions. You cannot have seminars. You cannot put hoardings. No. And your office, your warehouse, your flexi desk cannot be outside the free zone. Now one more most important thing which I wanted to tell you is that in this free zone, let's assume that you have a free zone, a company, you have registered. Yes, you can have your office, your warehouse, your shop, your restaurant, your saloon, your tailoring shop inside the free zone. That is allowed. Nothing outside the free zone. So let's go through the list of free zones in Dubai. Now on the left hand side you see the list of Dubai free zones. We have Dubai Airport free zone, Dubai Auto zone, Dubai Cars and Automotive zone, Dubai Design District, Dubai Flower Center, Dubai Gold and Diamond Park, Healthcare City. So you see all these different free zones. Now there are few free zones which are really famous and doing well. For example, we have Dubai Internet City. Then we have Dubai International Financial Center. Then we have Dubai Knowledge Park. We have Dubai Media City. We have Dubai Multi Commodity Center. Then we have Jebel Ali Free Zone. And we have Dubai Production City. Now if you go through the names, I'm sure you must have understood what is it all about. So for example, if someone wants to open a media company, where will he go? He will go to Dubai Media City. Okay, so when you go to Dubai Media City, you will find companies like CNN, Bloomberg, BBC, Discovery, all these Sony, Pixar, all these media companies will be in Dubai Media City. Now if you go for banks, Standard Chartered Bank, they will have the office in Dubai International Financial Center. You will have HSBC Bank, Citibank, Axis Bank. All those banks will always go to anything related to finance will go to Financial Center, which is called Dubai International Financial Center, which is DIFC. Now check out Dubai Internet City. If you go to Dubai Internet City, you will find offices like Microsoft, Dell, IBM, Oracle. Now there is one more free zone which is called Dubai Multi Commodity Center, which is called DMCC, where we are located. Now DMCC is one of the most it's called the most happening area in Dubai. I mean the most premium location, the prime location where all the offices are located. So its multi-commodity center can have, I mean all these free zones, you can have any company. It's not necessary that an IBM can also open a company in Dubai Industrial City, right? It's not necessary that they have to be in that particular free zone. They can go, they can select any free zone, but then they always would like to be in their area where their activity belongs. So DMCC is for premium offices, as it's the heart of Dubai. And then we have Jebel Ali Free Zone Authority, which is called JAFZA, JAFZA. Now JAFZA is also famous because of the port. You have ship containers coming. JAFZA is the first location. Then we have Dubai Knowledge Park. If you go to Dubai Knowledge Park, you will find all kinds of institutions. You will have schools, colleges over there, all institutes over there in that particular free zone. Now on the right, these are the free zones which are outside Dubai free zones, which is Abu Dhabi free zone. They have in Abu Dhabi they have Abu Dhabi Airport free zone, Abu Dhabi Global Markets free zone, Khalifa and Industrial zone, Abu Dhabi 2454. Then we have Sharjah free zones, like in Sharjah we have Hamriya free zone, Sharjah Airport International free zone, Sharjah Media City free zone. Then we have Ajman free zone, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, Umm Al Quwain. So every Emirates is been divided into multiple free zones. So if you open your company in Hamriya free zone, then your office has to be inside Hamria. If you open your company in Ras Al Khaimah free trade zone, then your office, your shop, your warehouse has to be inside that free zone. So this is all about the free zone. These are the multiple free zones we have. For more details and the costing, we have a separate sheet which we'll be sharing with you, and you can check over there. Now, the third type of company is called an offshore company. Now, what is an offshore company? The offshore company is basically it's just like a free zone company. The only difference is that in an offshore company you cannot get any visa and you cannot get any office. You cannot have any office, warehouse, flexidesk. You cannot have visa. You cannot sell anything inside Dubai. It has to be everything outside. You can have a bank account in an offshore company. Bank accounts, however, you see every company requires a bank account. You will not find any company which does not have a bank account, right? So every company will have a bank account. So even offshore company gets a bank account. Basically, offshore is only for invoicing purpose, wherein your goods are going from India to Canada, but you want your money to come in Dubai because of zero taxes. So that's the main features of the offshore company. So it's only for invoicing purpose. Now the features of an offshore company is, so the major benefits of having a free zone, an offshore company is zero taxes, ease of international operations, freedom from state regulations, multi-currency fundings of accounts out of the country, high level of confidentiality, information on directors and shareholders will not be disclosed. The shareholder of the company is eligible to operate the company. A director of an offshore company in UAE can be nominal and have any citizenship. It is registered faster. An offshore company can be in virtual form. An offshore company by law cannot have an office in UAE. However, it may own real estate properties which are approved by the authorities of the UAE, or own shares in another company, and can issue invoice and can have a bank account. Nowadays, getting a bank account for offshore companies has become very difficult. Earlier, it was easy to get a bank account in an offshore company, but now it's become very difficult because of money laundering. Yes, that's one of the options, because the owners were never been disclosed. So now the only way you can get a bank account in an offshore company is, the first criteria is you need to have same business in your home country. Now let's say example, the client has taken open a company with activity of trading of fruits and vegetables. Now the client needs to have the same business activity in the home country, plus it also needs to have a bank statement for 6 months for the company, personal bank statements for 6 months, and many other related documents. If he can give all these documents, yes, he can open an offshore company. Plus he also will have to give the buyers list, who are the buyers, who are the sellers, who are the suppliers, everything, and only then you can open an offshore company. Now in UAE there are three offshore jurisdictions. One is Dubai, which is Jebel Ali offshore, one is Ras Al Khaimah, which is RAK ICC, and one is Ajman offshore. Other offshore jurisdictions are Seychelles, British Virgin Islands, and Mauritius. The Jebel Ali offshore company is an international business. Crown holds the only offshore vehicle that is permitted on its own to hold real estate in Emirate of Dubai. So if you take a Jebel Ali offshore, you can have a property in Dubai. You can buy a property in Dubai. Now RAK offshore, RAK ICC provides the same options, wherein you can have properties in the RAK ICC, and physical presence to open the company is not required. You can be in any other country and you can come and open the company in Dubai. Your presence is not required. The same goes with Ajman. Seychelles, British Virgin Islands and Mauritius also have the similar options wherein presence is not required, and they can open a company and have a bank account in Seychelles or in British Virgin Islands or in Mauritius. Now the fourth type is a branch company. This is not actually a type, but then this is just an option. For example, what is a branch company? A branch company is the same legal identity as its parent company and conduct the same business under the name of the same parent company. Branch office may only be engaged in activities similar to those of its parent company, but it's not permitted to carry on business of importing the products of its parent company and function reserved for local trade agents. In some cases, the branch or the foreign company are required to obtain an additional license from UAE Ministry of Economy. A representative office, on the other hand, is limited to promoting its parent company activities, that is gathering information, soliciting others and projects to be performed by the company's head office. Let me give an example of branch company. Remember we spoke about Dubai Internet City Free Zone, and we spoke about Microsoft, Dell, Oracle. They have the companies in the free zone. Now what are those companies? Those are branch companies. Right. Now CNN has its headquarters in New York. They have a branch company in Dubai. Right. So this is called branch company. The only difference in opening a branch company is you have to show the original documents of the branch company to open a branch company in Dubai. So this is all about the three types of companies. One was a mainland company, second was a free zone company, and third one is a branch company, and the third one is an offshore company, and yes, branch company. So you can have branch company in a free zone, you can have a branch company in a local, you can also have a branch company of offshore. Simple. Okay. Now we'll go to the next chapter, which is called activities and licensing. Now what is an activity? An activity is a field of doing business. Let me make it very simple for you. What is an activity? So for example, if the client wants to open a company, okay, he needs to have an activity. So for example, the client says I want to do trading in vegetables and fruits trading. Fine, he has to take an activity which is called vegetables and fruits trading. If he wants to do an electronic item trading, restaurant or coffee shop, business consultant, software development, metal casting, these all are different activities. Every jurisdiction will have its own activity list which are allowed. Based on the activity type, the license is classified into different types of jurisdictions. Every license will come with the activity mentioned which is required by the client. Restricted activities. Now there are few activities which are not allowed in Dubai or which requires further approvals. Activities such as banking, insurance, investment activities, they are allowed, but they require high level approvals, which is very difficult to get. Then we have tobacco trading, alcohol trading, which is not allowed. Then we have oil and gas trading, manpower supply, interior designer and auditing. Now if you want to open a company which is interior designer, then your corporate sponsor also needs to be an interior designer. If you want to open an auditing company, then your corporate sponsor also needs to be an auditor, which means the local Emirati also needs to be an auditor. Same goes with education, but yes, we'll talk about it. Now we talk about the approvals. Few activities require multiple approvals, like for example, if you want to open a restaurant, if you want to open a food supply, healthcare centers, you will require a special approval from the Dubai municipality. If you want to open a restaurant in Sharjah, then you will have to take an approval from the Sharjah municipality. If you want to open any training institute, then you will have to take an approval from the KHDA, which is Knowledge and Human Development Authority. Even the teachers or the trainers need to get the permit. Activities which are related to medical, Dubai, medical doctors, practitioners, nurse, they have to take a permit from DHA, which is called Dubai Health Authority. So the company has to take the approvals, plus the employees or the doctors also have to take their own approvals. All activities related to telecom require approvals from Telecommunications Regulatory of India. One more example if I can give is, for example, if you want to do trading in aircraft, you want to buy and sell aircraft, you need to get an approval from Civil Aviation Authority. Now if you want to do drone recording for some event, imagine there's a cricket match going on and you've been given a contract to record the entire match from a drone, then again you need to take an approval to open a company. Again you need to take an approval from Dubai Aviation Authority. Only then you can do it. So these are the various approvals which are required. Approvals are easy to get. Once if the documentations are clear, you get the approvals faster. Now let's talk about license. What is a license? In UAE business, license is mandatory to do any kind of business. The type of license depends on the activity or the business you choose. Each license has a limit of activities you can conduct. The number of activities allowed in one license differs from one jurisdiction to another, and license should be renewed every year. Now I will tell you more about the activities under one license. Now the type of license depends on the activity or the type of business you choose. So for example, as we mentioned earlier in my previous slide, that if you want vegetables and fruits trading, you have to select that activity, and that vegetables and fruits trading will be mentioned on your license. There is this line which says the number of activities allowed in one license differs from one jurisdiction to another. Now for example, in one license only allows one activity, so you cannot have multiple activities under one license. However, there are few jurisdictions which will allow multiple activities. Let me explain what are multiple activities. Now fruits and vegetables trading, now this is one activity. Most of the free zones will only allow one activity under one license. Now these free zones will allow multiple activities of the same category. So for example, if you want to do trading in fruits and vegetables, everything related to fruits and vegetable trading can be added on your license. So for example, if you want to do trading of watermelon, you want to do trading of avocado, you want to do trading of strawberries, you want to do trading of vegetables, yes, you can do it under one license. But if you want to do trading of vegetables and fruits with electronics, not allowed. There are two free zones, one is Sharjah free zone and one is Mulkwen free zone, which will allow 5 different activities under one license. So you can have 5 multiple activities under one license. We'll talk about that on a later stage. So understood, right? Every license comes with only one activity, but yes, you can have sub activities of the same group. Now what are the types of license? The first type of license is commercial trading license. Now what is a commercial trading license? Commercial license covers all trading and commercial activities performed with intention of making profit. Anything you do in trading, for example, if you're selling goods from one place to another, it is called commercial trading. So all the commercial activities can be performed by taking commercial trading license. but activities has to be mentioned on the license. What is professional consultancy license? Professional licenses means you are providing professional services, like cleaning is a professional service, like repairing of air conditioner is called a professional service. Then you have consultancy, like giving consultancies for health is comes under professional license. Then you have any kind of services you provide, like restaurants, cafeterias, you're serving food, okay, you're providing services, is called under professional license or consultancy license. Then we have industrial license. Industrial license deals with manufacturing of products. So for example, if you are manufacturing soap in Dubai, you need an manufacturing license. Okay, so manufacturing license covers all the manufacturing activities. Points to remember: your manufacturing unit will have to be in the free zone if it's a free zone company. Your manufacturing unit can be anywhere if it's a local or a mainland company. And in an offshore company, you do not get any office, so you cannot do any manufacturing in Dubai. That's called manufacturing license, industrial license. Now, general trading. In simple words, what is the meaning of general trading is? Amazon. If you go on Amazon, you have multiple products. You have baby products, you have electronics, you have home appliances, you have furniture, you have gardening products, everything under one. So Amazon is a general trading license. So clients who needs more activity, if the client says that I deal with charcoal, I deal with wood, I deal with furniture, I deal with electronics, I deal with trading of shoes, I deal in school bags, I deal in clothes, sir, go for general trading because you have got multiple products. General trading license, yes, it's expensive. If anybody wants to open a e-commerce website by just like Amazon or Souk or Flipkart, he needs to go for a general trading license. So these are the types of licenses. Now let's talk about the facilities. Business, office space. Now I already explained you the types of offices you can have. Okay, to run any kind of business in UAE, a facility or a business space with address is essential. It is not mandatory, but yes, it is essential. It is not mandatory in an offshore company. Offshore company cannot have an office or a visa, but yes, a free zone or a local mainland company needs to have at least a flexi desk to start with. Without a flexi desk or a fixed office, you cannot open a company in Dubai. It is mandatory. Only if you do not take a visa in a free zone, then office space, you do not get an office space by default. So facilities can either be from jurisdictions or private property if available. Free zone companies should have their facility within the free zone jurisdiction area. Local companies can have the office space anywhere in the Emirates but not in the free zone. Number of visa allowed depends on the facilities selected. For example, flexi desk will allow you 2 visa. Flexi office will allow you 3 visa. Standard office now allows you visa depending on the size of the office. It varies from jurisdictions to jurisdictions. There are few jurisdictions which provides different visa packages on the same facility. For example, Shams, Sharjah Media City Free Zone provides 0 to 6 visa under one flexi desk. Client can choose any package. It varies from one jurisdiction to another. Every free zone has got different options, different packages. It starts from the flexi desk. So you can go for a virtual office or a flexi desk, or you can go for a smart office, a premium office, standard office, warehouse. So as I mentioned, I spoke to you about the virtual desk. It will be a shared desk wherein you get to use 8 hours in 1 week. Then we have standard office, wherein it's your own property, it's your own office, you rent it. Then it has got a smart office. Smart office is like you book an office for a limited period of time, for example 1 hour, 2 hours in a week. And then comes a warehouse. Now warehouse will be yours. There are few warehouse which has offices inside, and there are warehouse which do not have any offices inside. So we already spoke about the virtual office, FlexiDesk. FlexiDesk is a desk space in business center which is shared by multiple companies. FlexiDesk will have desk with chairs, laptop, projector, Wi-Fi and landline phone. It should be pre-booked and can be used the space for like 5 to 7 hours a week. Office address will be provided. Company postbox can be opened. FlexiDesk is provided by every free zone jurisdictions. Lease agreement will be provided after issuing business license, and it should be renewed every year. There are few activities which cannot be conducted with FlexiDesk, like education, health, industrial activities. You can refer the activity sheet. Now, few jurisdictions do not provide general trading license on FlexiDesk, wherein a local company will allow FlexiDesk for the first year in general trading. Now visas, number of visas allowed on FlexiDesk, it depends on the jurisdiction. Smart office, Flexi office is just a normal office in a business center shared by multiple companies. It has the same rule of FlexiDesk. It should be pre-booked and can be used for 5 to 7 hours a week. Few jurisdictions provide these facilities and allows additional visa. Standard office, physical office. Now standard or physical office are available within the jurisdictions. Physical office can even be rented from private properties if it's within the jurisdiction limit. Every 9 square meter will be eligible for one visa. So if you have a 90 square meter office, you can hire 9 employees. In some cases, additional visa are allowed. If office space is not from the jurisdiction, for example, if you open a local company, then you would need to rent an office which will be anywhere in Dubai, and the license will be issued only after you submit the Ijari, which is the property card. So every office or a rented apartment will be coming with the Ijari. Ijari is simply called as a property card wherein your company name will be written, the size of the office will be mentioned, and all the details will be mentioned. We have to submit this to the Dubai Economic Department, DED, and then they will issue the license. Because in mainland company, office is mandatory. But in free zone company, the office is provided by the free zone itself. Warehouse. Many jurisdictions provide warehouse facilities. Small office space will be available within the warehouse, and this should be renewed again every year, same as the virtual desk, FlexiDesk. Now the services offered by Varal. Now Varal offers offshore, UAE free zone and local company registration and allied services, anxiety free to entrepreneurs from around the world. Now list of services offered by Varal: company registration, visa services, bank accounts, renewals, nominee services, accounting and auditing services, license amendment, company closing, translation and attestation services. Now we'll go through one by one in detail of what are these services all about. So what is company registration? To do any business in UAE, it is mandatory to register a company and take a trade license. Clients should provide 3 company names. In preferences, the jurisdictions will approve one name based on the availability. Following documents are issued while the forming of a company. We will help our clients to get the following documents: certificate of incorporation, business license, trade license, share certificate, memorandum of association, articles of association, lease agreement, immigration card, establishment card. We'll go in detail of what it is all about. What is a certificate of incorporation? Incorporation certificate is issued by every jurisdiction when you register a company. So whenever you register a company, you get the incorporation certificate. Now this document states that your company is legally established. It will have the name of the jurisdictions, the date of incorporation, the name of the company, and the authorized signature and seal. This is how the incorporation certificate will look like. It will have the jurisdiction's name over here. This is an incorporation certificate of DWC. This is Dubai World Central. It will have the company name, date of incorporation, that this company was incorporated on 14th of May 2017, and it will have a stamp of the jurisdiction of the free zone. Now, what is business license, trade license? Business cannot be conducted inside UAE without a trade license. Type of license depends on the activity. Whether you go for a general trading license, or you go for a professional license, or you go for a consultancy license, or it all depends on what license and the activity you go for. You cannot do any other business apart from the activity which is mentioned in your license. So if you take an license for fruits and vegetables trading, you can only do that activity. You cannot do electronics trading. However, if your license mentions two activity, yes, you can do both the activity. Whatever is mentioned on the license, the activity mentioned, you can do the same activity. If you want to do any other activity, your license needs to be amended, which means if you want to remove the activity and add another one, yes, you can do that. Your license needs to be amended. Your trade license should be renewed every year. Every company will be renewed every year with the trade license. Even to change the owner, manager, shareholder, trade license should be amended. Trade license should be renewed before the expiry, or else the penalty will be charged. If you do not renew your license, there will be a penalty charges which will be applicable. The penalty charges differs from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. So every jurisdiction will have their different penalty charges. This is how the trade license looks like. It will have the name of the jurisdiction, which is DWC, Dubai World Central, the name of the company, license type, company address. This is the address for the DWC. Activity. Now over here the activity will be mentioned, like if you want to do food and vegetables trading, then it will be mentioned over there. If you want to do electronic trading, it will be mentioned over there. If it has 5 activities of the same group, all the 5 activities will be mentioned over there. You'll have the name of the manager, date, issue and the expiry of the license, and the authorized signature, and the stamp will be over here. On the left side is English, on the right side is Arabic. This is how the license looks like. This is again Dubai World Center Free Zone license. Now, what is share certificate? Share certificate is a legal document which is issued by jurisdictions while forming a company. Share certificate describes the share of each shareholder. For single shareholder, 100% shares are owned by the same person. For multiple shareholders, the details of the share owned by each shareholder will be mentioned. So it's like a Bible of the it's like a book wherein all the list of shareholders will be mentioned, their shares, everything will be mentioned. If you want to change the shareholder, the license will need to be amended and the new share certificate will be issued, and the old share certificate has to be submitted to the jurisdiction. Shareholder can be changed, or shares of each individual can be changed. For changing the shareholder or shares, shareholder resolution has to be passed, and it should be provided along with the buying and selling of shares agreement has to be provided. This is how the share certificate looks like. This is again Dubai World Center share certificate. The name of the company, shareholder names, shareholder address, the total share, and the value of each share which has been mentioned over there. This also has got the value of each share mentioned over here, and the date, and the last amendment date if there is any. Now we go to the next part, which is called the MOA and the AOA. It's called the Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association. Basically, MOA outlines nature of business entity. MOA includes the company's name, registered company address, company's aims, objectives, limited liability costs, share capital, and other related company information. So everything to do with the company. It's like a Bible of the company, wherein the Articles of Association documents articulates the way the shares are distributed, voting rights of each class of the stock, valuation of intellectual rights, activities of directors, including appointments and meetings, management decisions, and many other intricate and internal process of the company. So who will manage what, everything which will happen inside the company is mentioned in the Memorandum and the Articles of Association. The document is also designed for shareholders and potential investors that outlines the rules and regulations for internal management of the business. Another characteristics of the document is that it spells out the types of power, responsibilities, and authority of elected directors of the company. Few jurisdictions provide attested MOA and AOA along with the license. If it does not provide, you can always request for one. And in few jurisdictions, MOA and AOA templates has to be signed by all the shareholders submitting along with the company registration. So this is the Bible of the company, MOA, AOA. Now we come to the lease agreement. Now lease agreement, as mentioned, whenever you take a fixed office or you take a flexi desk, a shared desk, you always get a property agreement which has the following details, which is agreement date, office address, tenant address, cost of the facility, signature of both the tenant and the landlord. A terms and condition document for the use of this facility will be provided. If office space is from a private property within the jurisdictions, then the lease agreement should be attested from Ijari and submitted to the jurisdiction before issuing the license. Local company, DMCC. All jurisdictions has their own facility. If the facility is provided by the free zone jurisdiction, then the jurisdiction will provide a lease agreement along with the license. Visa eligibility will be mentioned on the same document, and the lease agreement should be renewed every year. So as I mentioned, if you take an office which is anywhere in Dubai for a mainland company, you get an Ijari, wherein your all the details will be mentioned, and then we have to submit the Ijari, which is a property card, to the Dubai government for the license issuance. This is how the lease agreement look like, wherein the name of the jurisdictions, agreement date, facility address, tenant address, office number, and the visa allowed, cost, period of agreement, tenure signature, tenant signature, and landlord or jurisdiction signature. This is how the lease agreement looks like. Now we come to the last segment, which is called the immigration card and the establishment card. Now what is an immigration card or an establishment card? As mentioned, that to drive a car we need a license, right? Similarly, to have a visa under a company, we require an immigration card or a labor card. So immigration card is for investor visa and labor card is for the employee visa. So if you have a local company, you require a labor card, but in a free zone company, only immigration card is required. Company has to be registered with immigration card to issue visa, even for investor visa. and immigration card is issued when the company is registered in the immigration department. This is how the immigration establishment card looks like. It will have the name of the company and it will have the name of the jurisdictions, and this is how the card. So once you have this card, only then you can apply for visa. There is no other way you can have visa without the establishment card. Now let's talk about the visa services. It is mandatory to have a visa to enter Dubai. A visa is like an entry pass with the UID number, which is a unique identification number on it, and Varal will help clients to process the visa. There are different types of visa, which is like on arrival visa, visit visa, investor visa, employment visa, dependent visa, maid visa. Then we do visa renewals, visa cancellation. So these are different types of visa services what we provide. Now, what is visa? Visa application. There are 3 stages of new visa process. First is the visa application and approval, the status change process, and the visa stamping process. Now, as I mentioned, every company is eligible to have a visa. Okay. Now, this visa application and approval of entry permit. Now, what happens is, I'll make this very simple for you. It will be very easy for you to understand. Whenever a company establishment card has been issued, after that we will apply for entry permit for the investor or the shareholder or the employee. Now, this entry permit is valid for 2 months. The client has to come to Dubai with the entry permit, and he has to get the entry permit stamped at the Dubai Immigration Department. This is for the people who are outside UAE. Once they enter the country with the entry permit stamp, then the next process starts. It will take 8 days to get the entry permit after we submit the application. Now, once the entry permit is stamped, let me also tell you the entire visa process in short. So once the client is here, his entry permit is stamped, we will have to do his medicals test and the Emirates ID fingerprint. Once we take him to the medical center, do his medical test, and then go to the Emirates ID center for his Emirates ID and fingerprint. After that, we will have to take all these documents, which are the 4 documents, which are entry permit stamped, medicals report, Emirates ID stamped, and the passport. We have to take all these 4 documents, go to the embassy and submit this for visa application. So once we submit the passport, the embassy will stick the visa on his passport and send it back to us, and it takes 5 working days. Simple. Now, what if visa status change? Now, status change means the client is not outside Dubai, he is inside Dubai and he wants a visa. He is probably on a visit or a tourist visa, or he is on a visa which has already been cancelled from the previous employer and he is on a 30 days extension period. It is mandatory to cancel the previous visa to apply a new visa. Once the application is approved from the immigration and the entry permit has been issued, we will take the applicant's passport and will submit it to the jurisdictions to the status change. Status changes means the tourist visa will automatically get converted into investor visa. After the completion of status change, the applicant should go for the medicals, Emirates ID. Same process. After it's done, we have to submit all the 4 documents to the immigration. The visa will be stamped in 5 working days. Now, there are 3 3 stages as mentioned earlier. So visa stamping process. Visa stamping process on the passport is the final process. Once the applicant enters UAE or change the status completed, he should undergo medical examination and Emirates ID process. The result of medical examination and Emirates ID application along with passport should be submitted for jurisdiction. Medicals and Emirates ID takes 4 working days, but we do a VIP service wherein we get it in just 1 hour on the same day. And visa stamping on passport takes 4 to 6 working days. Now, what is investor visa? In an investor visa, it is mandatory to be a shareholder of the company to get an investor visa. Investor visa will be valid for only 3 years. Visa can be processed only after forming the company and then registering the company with immigration. Investors can enter UAE with entry permit, which will be issued after applying for visa. No need to take for a visit visa. Investors should be present in UAE for 9 working days for completing the process. As mentioned that since we will submit a passport for visa stamping, the client cannot go outside the country without the passport. So he will have to stay in Dubai for the passport. Should apply for Emirates ID, should undergo medical fitness checkup, should submit the passport for visa stamping, and client cannot leave the country during the interim period. Same goes with the employment visa. Every company can hire people from any part of the world. Employment visa is only for 2 years. Again, if it's inside the country, then we do a status change. If it's outside the country, we give them the jurisdiction will give him the entry permit to enter Dubai. He can enter the country, and then he can do his medicals and Emirates ID and submit the passport for visa stamping. Now, dependent visa. Dependent visa is like, for example, the client is a shareholder of the company. Now he wants to bring his kids and his wife to Dubai. Yes, he can do that. 2 options. Either the wife and kids can be the shareholder of the company, but if he doesn't want them to be involved in the company, he can sponsor their visa, which means the client sponsor will be the jurisdictions on visa. So the name of the sponsor on the visa will be the company which he has formed in the jurisdictions, wherein on wife visa the name of the sponsor will be his husband. Everyone who are an investor or an employee visit can sponsor the family. His and her salary should be at least 10,000 per month. Wife cannot sponsor husband. Yes, a wife can never sponsor a husband in Dubai, and parents cannot sponsor the son who is above 18 years of old. Once you are 18 years of old, your parents cannot sponsor visa for yourself. And then comes maid visa. Maid visa is for people who are looking for a maid. The process also remains the same. You need to give them an entry permit. Once you get an approval, only then you can have a maid visa. Now, visa renewal. Investors should renew the visa every 3 years. Employment visa should be renewed every 2 years. If the visa are not renewed before it gets expired, penalty should be paid for the number of days of overstay inside the country. And for renewal of Emirates ID, it should be renewed and medical fitness should be done. Visa cancellation. Investor visa or employment visa will get cancelled if the visa holder stays outside UAE for continuously 180 days, which is 6 months. So if the client is staying outside Dubai for 6 months, his visa will automatically get cancelled. He has to make one trip to Dubai in every 6 months. While closing the company, it is mandatory to cancel the employment visa and the dependent visas. Now, for example, our client has taken an investor visa and he has also taken visa for his wife and children. They are dependent visa. So it is a rule to close the company. You will have to first cancel your wife and your children's visa, and then you have to cancel your own visa. Only then the company can be closed. These are the prices. Now we go back to the slide wherein I wanted to talk to you about the e-channel. What is e-channel? In all free zones which are outside Dubai, e-channel registration is mandatory to issue a visa, even for an investor visa. Now what is e-channel system? The UAE Ministry of Interior has launched a new smart service called e-channel for neutralization and the residency visa services. Colonel Marshal Ahmed Al Tahiri, General Director of Residence and Foreign Affairs Directorate in Abu Dhabi, has stated that the system is being implemented under the framework of Ministry's efforts to guarantee the delivery of the best services and achieve UAE Vision 2021. How will e-channel improve the process? E-channel will improve the speed and the accuracy in the issuing process for the visa and resident permits, and will eliminate the need for applicants to go in person to the service centers. Self-explanatory. Now you have to pay extra fees for each channel, which is fixed. 5,000 is the refundable deposit, and initial registration amount is 2,150 dirhams, and renewal is 1,100 dirhams every year. This will be applicable for all new and existing companies who requires residency and services. Now one important thing I would like to tell you is, if I scroll up and if I show the list of the free zones, on the left hand side you see Dubai free zones. E-channel is not applicable to Dubai free zones. E-channel is not applicable to local companies. E-channel is only applicable for free zone companies which are not inside Dubai. For example, Abu Dhabi free zone, all these free zones will require e-channel, all these free zones. Sharjah free zones, all this will require e-channel. Ajman, all this will require e-channel. Fujairah will require e-channel, and Umm Al Quwain will require e-channel. Dubai free zones will not require to register for e-channel. And mainland companies also. So even if it's a Sharjah mainland company, e-channel is not required. Clear? It is mandatory, and yes. Now let's go back to our presentation, which we finished the visa part. Now let's talk about bank account. It is mandatory to have a business license to open a bank account. It is mandatory. I mean, you cannot have a company without a bank account. I mean, if you still can, if you want to, but then it's of no use to open a company without having a bank account. It is easier to open a bank account if the company at least has got one visa. Offshore company bank account, as mentioned, is difficult, but yes, it happens. So normally what we do is, clients who ask for offshore companies, we give them Sharjah free zone zero visa option, because bank account opening is easier in a free zone, but it's very difficult in a local company. Okay. To open a bank account, client will have to submit the company's activity details, business plan, license copy, MOA, AOA, all the company document has to be submitted, and his presence will be required to sign the documents. He'll have to come to Dubai to open a bank account. Now, company shareholder will be physically present. Transaction of large amount will require to give a purpose. So for example, if there is a large amount which has been transferred, the bank might ask where the money is coming from, please show us the invoice. At the time of forming a bank account, the company incorporation details will have to be submitted along with original of certificate of incorporation. At the time of forming the bank account, the account owner will also have to provide tax payment details of country of residence, such as PIN number. This is applicable for offshore companies. He will have to provide all his home country documents to get a bank account. Now we come to the next part, which is called the renewal. Following documents should be renewed in a certain period of time. Business license every year, lease agreement every year, Emirates ID once in 2 years, investor visa once in 3 years, employment visa once in 2 years, and maid visa once in 2 years. Nominee services. Now what are nominee services? What we provide? Varal also provides nominee services for extra confidentiality. When owners do not want to appear in public record, nominee services are selected. A nominee is an unrelated third party who is officially registered as a director, shareholder, manager, or the secretary in the company instead of real owner. So for example, if a client does not wish to be shown in the company, then they will hire us as a nominee, shareholder, director, manager, or secretary. The purpose of the nominee is to uphold clients' secrecy by shielding the actual shareholder, direct manager of the company from being publicly associated with a particular company. Nominee services offers a offer a cover of confidentiality and also takes away the burden of performing the task required by the position. So we can do tasks on behalf of the company. Varal provides nominee services where clients can protect his or her identity as a shareholder, manager, director, or secretary. Client can opt for one or multiple nominee services. The position and powers of the client are protected and assured by nominee agreements. These are the charges for the nominee services. We will share the charges sheet on a different training module. This is just to review. We also provide other services, which is accounting, bookkeeping, and auditing services, license amendment. So for example, if the license if there's any changes in the license, like for example change of shareholder, sell a part of shares, change director, manager, add or remove new activity, old activity, change of company, board resolution should be provided for license amendment. And for shareholder change or sell of shares, selling and buying agreement should be provided. Closing the company, liquidation. A company should be either renewed every year or else should be closed. Leaving a company without renewing for a long time might bring trouble while starting any other business. And while closing a company, all the penalties should be paid. Penalties for number of days the company was left expired should be paid before closing the company. We also provide translation and attestation services. For example, there are many documents which are issued from the parent company in different languages. A Spanish document. This document should be translated in to Arabic. Some documents which are in Arabic needs to be translated in English. Some documents are from Spanish, like certificates are from Spanish language. We need to translate into English and show it to the government. For example, power of attorney, board resolution. We need to translate those for better understanding. All the translation documents should be attested. It should be attested from Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Dubai, UAE, and it should also be attested from the embassy, Dubai embassy of the parent company in UAE. So for example, if there is one certificate which needs to be translated or attested, it has to be attested. For example, it's a certificate from London Cardiff University. So that document has to be attested by UAE Embassy in London and Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Dubai, 2 places. Original documents should be provided for attestation, and educational certificate should be attested from UAE Embassy in parent country and then MOFAP in UAE. So we go to the conclusion now. To do business in UAE, you should have a valid business license and your company should be registered in any jurisdictions or government authority. There are many jurisdictions. You can form your company in any jurisdictions considering the setup cost, facilities provided, number of visa allowed and other compliances. These are the factors which are required to form a company. Business license should be renewed every year. Client should provide 3 proposed company names with preferences. Jurisdictions will approve the name based on the availability of considering the preferences. Lease agreement should be provided by the jurisdictions while registering your company. Even the warehouse, flexi desk and office has to be renewed annually. Tenancy contract for plots to be renewed every 25 years. Flexi desk can be used for 5 to 6 hours in a week prior to booking. For permanent office, 1 visa will be eligible for every 9 square meter and small office space is available within the warehouse. For free zone companies, facilities are provided within the free zone limit of that particular jurisdiction. If facilities chosen from jurisdiction property, lease agreement will be provided by the company registration. So if you open a free zone company, the free zone will if the free zone is providing you with the flexi desk, they will provide with the lease agreement also. In facility chosen from non-jurisdictions, property license will be issued after submitting the lease agreement, which is Tijari. If you open a local company and if you are taking an office which is not in the free zone, you will have to submit the agreement and the property card, which is called the Ijari. Personal information form to be filled and submitted. Clients should be informed that the free zone jurisdiction does not provide confidentiality, and in others to have confidentiality, clients can opt for Varal nominal managing services. Varal provides nominee services where clients can protect his identity as shareholder, manager, director, secretary. The charge will be 1000 USD per year. An agreement will be signed between Varal and client concerning the duties and responsibilities binding them. Nominee director is an unrelated third party who is officially registered as the director in the company. The purpose of the nominee manager is to uphold client's secrecy by shielding the actual manager of the company from being publicly associated with that particular company. Single person can act as a shareholder, manager, secretary and director. Manager or secretary director needs to be the shareholder, and the manager's signature will be required for renewals and closing of the company. Now, change of manager will involve license amendment and the shareholders must submit the shareholder resolution signed by all the shareholders. Shareholders can act as a manager, secretary, director. In case of a corporate shareholder, branch or subsidiary company, the shareholder will be a corporate and the name should match to that mentioned in the trade license of the parent company. For a free zone company, business cannot be done outside the free zone, can hire local distributors to do the job. For a free zone company, goods cannot move outside free zone. If still he wants to send his goods outside free zone, 5% gates fees will be applicable, which will be either paid by the client or by the local distributor. And all shareholders should provide passport copy. Offshore companies will not be allowed to do business inside UAE. They will not get any visas. They will not get any office space. And to issue any visa, company should be registered with immigration by getting an establishment card or an immigration card, which will be issued later on. When you register a company, you will get the following documents as mentioned: company incorporation certificate, trade license, share certificate, MOA, AOA, immigration card, establishment card, lease agreement, virtual office. So that's the end of our presentation. I'm sure you'll have many questions which you have for me. I will be providing you with my email address, my mobile phone number, my WhatsApp number, so you can contact me anytime for any queries, any concerns, and I'm always there to help you. Thank you so much.